Jasmin is the director of the future technologies at Mercedes Benz. She is an alumni of the prestigious London School of Economics and Political Science. Jasmin today is going to talk about, hi Jasmin and welcome.
Hi.
Jasmin is going to talk about EQXX. Vision EQXX is an exciting, inspiring, and yet realistic path to the future of electric vehicle technology. More with less has been the goal right from the start. Now only more range with less energy, but also more luxury and comfort with less environmental impact. I'm super excited to learn more how Mercedes Benz is accelerating technology transformation and Vision EQXX. So we're super excited about this session. Your slides are on, and the stage is yours, Jasmin.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here and to have the honor to talk about the project Vision EQXX with you. It's an exercise in how Mercedes Benz is accelerating technology transformation within our company and also inspiring, of course, our audiences and consumers worldwide. So maybe a couple of words to my side. I've already been introduced, but maybe a few people know that I'm not a traditional automotive colleague. I have actually worked in a software company before I joined Mercedes-Benz. And it's quite an honor for me to be able to talk about this car project. So for whoever is joining and thinking about joining our company, it's anything is possible. That's the message I want to give to you guys already at the very start, and I hope we get a few more context and talking points in the back where we can discuss this. So basically, I have one question that I will discuss with you later. It's a technical question to think about, and maybe you can also add this in the polling question that Anna might be sharing. What do you think is the biggest driver of efficiency and energy consumption in a car? And how do you explain that? So please click in the question, and then we can discuss later if that's something that you guys found out the right way. Okay, so I'm the head of future technologies. So we are looking into getting few new technologies into Mercedes-Benz, our products and cars. And Mercedes-Benz as a company is at the moment very clearly focused on electric driving. And our goal is to make the world's most desirable cars. And in order for this to work, we are fully focused on lead in electric drive. And this is not something necessarily, that we've always said, but we are very committed now. And it is now also an honor to really say, okay, how can we do this? And to prove to the world that we can do it. And in order for us to prove that we are lead in electric drive and lead in car software, we created a technology program as a blueprint, which is the Vision EQXX. You might have seen it in the press already. You might have heard about it in the news. What is the Vision EQXX? When we started first, we only had the idea that we could potentially one day drive 1,000 kilometers with one battery charge. And not just any battery, but just a normal, small, compact car battery. You don't just put the whole car full of battery. We wanted to have it as a realistic car, and to really transform our company from within, to really try out new cutting-edge technologies to bring them into our car. And so we took the 1,000-kilometer challenge, and when we started about 2 years ago, we didn't know how we would do this, honestly speaking. It was quite an aha moment for us to really say, okay, we could go anywhere, but are we ever going to get there? Because, and I asked you this question just a minute ago, there are many impacts and many factors impacting our efficiency target. And for us, the really big breakthrough came when 1,000 kilometers were translated for us, or we translated them into a kilowatt hour of 10 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers efficiency or energy consumption. Yeah, this was our target. We wanted to gain or consume less than 10 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers on these 1,000 kilometers. And this meant for us as engineers, we had to completely reinvent the entire car from aerodynamic consumption, which is the biggest factor, with over 60% of efficiency going to drag coefficients. Also, the entire drivetrain, we had to rethink how we lose energy through the driving, and basically how we can make that more efficient, or as efficient as possible. And then, of course, anything impacting rolling resistance, such as weight and tire efficiency, are, of course, incredibly big factors impacting the efficiency of the car. And this is where it became interesting. I will tell you guys a little bit more about the technological challenges we faced in a minute, but to take it from the end backwards, on April 5th, we actually did it. We drove 1,000 kilometers from Stuttgart to Cassis on real roads, which is nothing we had ever done before. And we were connected with our mission control room. We had all the data from the car live in the control room. We were really the whole time connected there. And we faced some interesting difficulties, from strange weather conditions to even, some wind. We had a lot of tunnels, so our solar roof could not consume the whole energy all the time, so I had to be efficient as well. And in order to give a bit of the emotional experience, I brought a short video that I will play now. Yeah, it was a very emotional moment for us. We actually made it. And when we started, we didn't know if we could make it. I just told you. But what is really quite remarkable from my point of view is that we actually made it with an 8.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer average consumption on this track. We drove 1,008 kilometers just to be sure. But we had maybe more than 15% battery left. So we could have actually gone 1,100 or even more kilometers. And I think this is really what this project was all about, to really push whatever we could into the car, to really set our creative energy free, and to make sure that these technologies that we put into the car really drove us there. And it was a surprising and very inspiring result. Just to give you some facts and figures, we have a solar roof inside, which gave us another 25 kilometers of extra range. We achieved a remarkable 95 percentage point efficiency on the eDrive side, which is really amazing for any kind of propulsion system. And we also basically had a lot of cool other innovative ideas in the car. And I will go into details a little bit more. Bottom line, it's the most efficient Mercedes we ever built. And a lot of these technologies that I will tell you about now actually will end up in production cars in the future. So we have maybe only 1/3 of the technologies are really crazy stuff. And the rest is today or tomorrow coming into our cars. And one of the areas, of course, that is very specifically interesting is the eDrive. I just mentioned that we achieved the 95% drivetrain efficiency. This was done in collaboration with the colleagues from Mercedes Benz high performance powertrain, which is HPP from Brixworth, and they support the Formula One, Formula E teams. And they really worked hand in hand together with our series colleagues to achieve this very cool design of the eDrive system, very streamlined, very focused on efficiencies, completely rethinking the entire drivetrain from battery to the wheels. And one of the key elements, of course, was the battery, which we put in, which actually has a similar energy density, energy density than what we already have today in series development, but it's on a much smaller footprint and much lighter. And this was done with some very innovative battery technology with a high silicium content and really focused on efficient energy transformation. On the inside, of course, we also said we want to make luxury cars, so we don't want to leave everything out. So we really focused on having a very cool and intuitive user experience, which really gives you also the hints and support from the car to drive efficiently. And even the display, you would think it consumes a lot of energy, but there are very cool technology elements behind it with a micro LED setup, so that in case there's a darker content displayed, the pixels actually don't consume any energy. And so we can also have this large display very focused on energy consumption. Last but not least, we also consumed or put into the car very experimental materials from cactus-based materials, bambus fiber, artificial silk, and so on. Even a mushroom-based leather we put in to try out to make sure that we can get the sustainable materials of the future already tested today in the car to get some feedback also for our series colleagues. And even in the elements where you don't look, so in the kind of underwear of the car, we have some very interesting methods applied for digital development. The whole car was digitally developed. We have bionic optimization of the biggest car parts ever built. For example, here you can see the body in white structure, but we also applied this methodology of bionic optimization to many other elements, including the windshield wipers. So, bottom line, the success factors of this project was that it was an incredible team journey, amazing work from HPP, as I just mentioned, with the Formula One, Formula E colleagues, our series colleagues, and our research team, working together hand in hand in an 18-month software-driven development process, fully digitally enhanced and supported. We had a clear target, really, that helped us a lot to really orient ourselves on this target. And we also basically had a very brave decision-making process behind it all to make sure that we could do this all in 18 months. We had to take some incredible risks sometimes where we didn't know if we could put this technology in, but we believed in the technology. We said, if we do this, for example, the bionic optimization, it will bring us some weight gains, it will bring us some better packaging solutions. So we will do it. And we basically pushed forward. And then the amazing engineers of Mercedes Benz found solutions to make this possible. Overall, we worked with a sprint methodology. So we performed 12 sprints in total, 18 months development time I just mentioned. And then we had another 4 months of testing, implementing, and optimization phase, which was overall quite an interesting journey. And it was very rewarding. We got some great feedback internally inside the company, but also externally. And it was an amazing trip. So in case you guys have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Wow, what an interesting presentation. Very, emotional, inspiring video. And it's super exciting what you're working on, like super innovative. It's like the future is already here. And thanks
for sharing. It's already here and waiting for you guys to work with us.
Absolutely. And I liked what you said in the beginning, like everything is possible, and how you actually, you pivoted your career and moved to the Mercedes Benz team. And I see there are some questions in the chat. How do you drive bionic innovation? There is a question
Yeah,
from
it's a good
Christian
question. I would
George.
love to answer that. So basically, by the Bionic optimization overall is a tool set we have been implementing in our research department for quite a while. The important part is that we have a tool chain available that can take the constructed pieces and also construct new pieces or basically new elements of the car, and completely bionically optimize them, calculate them, check if we can produce them, and then also make sure that basically they are crash tested, digitally crash tested, so that they also fulfill all the safety requirements. And so this is a digital tool chain that on the one hand side, gives us a lot of speed in development, but also lets us save a lot of weight when we implement it. And in this specific case, it was a casting, mostly casted parts, but also some 3D printed elements.
Thank you. Absolutely. And here's another question from Miriam. There's still the potential for improvement, further improvement?
Yeah, so it is a journey. Basically, I think what this project taught us about efficiency is only the beginning. So one of the things, is aerodynamics is here to stay. And this is a physical element that applies to all cars, not just this car. So I think the continued race to improve the drag coefficient will never stop. And of course, you will always think about, have we now hit like the sound barrier of aerodynamics? But no, we will have to keep pushing here. We have to figure out new ways of saving energy consumption.
Right.
Because anything that doesn't consume energy gives you more distance. And you, of course, want to improve, for example, also the solar cells, reduce the amount of energy consumed by the entertainment functions and so on, or the driving assistant functions. So there is a lot we can still do to make the cars of the future even more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And here is another question from Simone. What were the biggest challenges to align many different teams within Mercedes?
That's also a good question. In the end, it's one product, right? One car with 4 wheels. It will drive from A to Z, and so it's a very clear focus on a product. But then again, in order to achieve something such a specific target, everybody has to go above and beyond, and everybody has to push beyond the barriers. And the first thing is to really think about, can we do it? And maybe we are also a little bit afraid in the beginning. Can we do this? Is this even possible? And so to get everybody on the same page is also motivating everybody to find the way that we can believe in us and that we can do this. And then the second thing is to make sure that, it's a very tough timeline, so that everybody is oriented well, that we all know what we're doing. We're in constant contact. This was a project we did throughout the main time of COVID. So a lot of digital meetings, but and getting everybody aligned. But I think what really made it a success was the amazing team. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think if you're united by the same vision and you make your team believe that it is possible, they get excited and they're ready to go an extra mile, literally.
100% agree. Yes.
Yeah. Here's another question. We have many questions. Are there any obstacles your team foreseen for this mode to reach your vision? Were there any obstacles?
Well, we had many obstacles. This was not a smooth ride, I can tell you. It was, we had, in the beginning when we started, we had our target, but we were above. We were too heavy. We consumed way too much energy. We had a drag coefficient that was much above anything we had as a goal. And then basically we had to, every step of the way, adjust, think about it. If we made a decision and we figured out, oh my God, we can't do this, we had to figure out a plan B very quickly. So yes, we had a lot of surprising obstacles, but in the end also, I think what united us was this common goal, as you mentioned. And so in the end, we could always come back to that and say, okay, if we want to make the world's most efficient car, then what does that mean for us? How do we prioritize? And that helped a lot.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with us this fantastic presentation, the journey, and thank you for answering the questions. I'm sure there are more questions that people would like to ask you, and I think they would be able to do that at the Mercedes booth. So make sure to drop by, say hi, and I will also share, Jasmin, your LinkedIn profile in case people want to connect, follow up, and learn more about
I'm always happy to talk. Have a great day, and
you too.
have a look at, and also for everybody listening now, have a look at our Mercedes offering. We have many cool jobs available for you, and I hope you apply. So have a great
Absolutely.
day.
Everything is possible, like Jasmin said.
Everything is
so
possible.
give it a try. Don't be shy and apply. Great. Awesome.
Thank
Jasmin,
you.
you have a great day. It was a pleasure to
Thank
have
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.